Al Jazeera.
Let's speak to Rossi Hassad. He's a professor at the American College of Epidemiology. He's joining us live from New York, Rossi, to talk about these possible vaccines that are being developed. So there are at least three that we know of that are in the pipeline. Are you optimistic about them?
I think it's an excellent development. It's necessary. But I think in the long run, it will prove to be too late to make any meaningful impact on this epidemic. And that will be quite unfortunate.
How so? Why do you say that?
Well, vaccine trials by nature are protracted. And even if this is fast-tracked, we are looking at a duration of at least 1 year. Not to mention, such trials are usually fraught with uncertainties.
But this is fast-tracked. I mean, some tests are going to start as early as January, we understand, in parts of West Africa.
But we're looking at vaccine candidates that are beginning the first phase of what is typically a 4-phase process. This first phase is simply to determine the safety, dosage range, and adverse effects. There's still a long way to go before we can determine the biological effectiveness, if at all, of these vaccines. The good thing is there are multiple candidate vaccines, and there are multiple sites where they're being tested. So that will hasten any discovery and can, through consistency, either one way or the other, will lead us to a determination. But I do believe that even if fast-tracked, and they're talking about at least 1 year, it will prove not helpful for this epidemic.
So can you tell, Rossi, then, when they could use these vaccines for the public at large?
Well, the first phase, which is scheduled to end earliest, the end of this year, will allow us to determine how safe these drugs are, what are appropriate dosages to be used, and any adverse effects. If at that time it's deemed okay to go forward, then the second phase, that's when we will move to administering the drug to those who are most at risk, maybe healthcare workers and those who are taking care of family members. So maybe, and I'm not too optimistic about that, but probably the first quarter of 2015, that's when we could see this being administered in the phase 2 trial.
At this point, with all the deaths that have happened because of Ebola, I mean, what would you say the other options are?
Well, I think we should work on what we know helps. What we need now for the current situation is our rapid diagnostic testing so that we can quickly diagnose and isolate subjects and provide effective supportive therapy.
All right, Rossi Hassad joining us from New York. Thank you very much for